Hello and welcome to Food Safety Fridays. My name is Simon Timperley from the International Food Safety and Quality Network. Today's guest presenter is our very good friend Vladimir Sachinsky. Good afternoon, Vlad. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, Simon. Everything is well. I'm ready for the presentation and very nice to see you. I can see you, but you are breaking.
Tell us where you're joining from in the sidebar. Okay, we'll play the video ads and then we'll get back shortly. That ended abruptly. I think we've got some connection problems. I don't know if it's Vlad or me or neither of us. I don't know if you're noticing. But anyway, you're all welcome today. Hope you enjoy this presentation by Vladimir. I'll be back for the Q&A later.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you once again, Simon, for setting up this presentation today, although something is wrong with a little bit with the connection. So please, all of you, just in the chat on the side, if you can hear and see the presentation, just type it in that everything is okay, and we are going to continue. So while you do that, I will say that this is recorded, so practically you will have this also on recording later if something is wrong with the video or something like that, so you can watch it later. But today we are going to talk about the importance of transport cleaning, and we are going to talk about the validation and verification of transport cleaning. Of course, probably a lot of you already know me. I see a lot of you here already in the chat that I know a lot of names from Dubai, from Serbia, from USA, and hello everyone. Welcome again to today's presentation, and thank you very much for joining. For those of you who still don't know me, I'm Vladimir Sachinsky. Started my career in a company called Deleuze, which is a retailer, in 2010, and I was in a position of quality and sustainability associate, responsible for the implementation and oversee of the ISO 9001 and HCCP in more than 500 food safety audits, more than 1,000 employees trained for food safety, and later on I was responsible for food safety operations, also for 3 countries at that time: Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, 360 stores, 5 distributive centers, and yeah, a lot of work at that time. Later on in 2014, I started working for Quality Austria certification body, and with Quality Austria, I was almost 10 years, no, not almost, 10 years as on a position of auditor, but also product manager, where my business was actually to develop new products that the certification body will use in their activities. With IFS Quen, actually, now will be 10 years, or now is a 10th year how Simon and I are working together. We started in 2015 with lots of different food safety Fridays, with food safety lives, with paid webinars, and until now, I think we have done really a good job, thankfully to the IFSQ, thankfully to the Simon, of presenting and increasing, I would say, food safety culture. I think that now IFSQ, after 10 years at least, becomes a place of the main place with responsibilities to increase this food safety culture knowledge. From few years ago, I would say back like 3 or 4 years, 4 years, it will be more, I joined MFIT, which is International Association for the Supply Chain Safety. And here we are talking about the safety of food and feed in the supply chain, and also cleaning of transporting units, safe transporting of food. And I'm over there, vice president and the CEO. So today I want to share with you all the collected knowledge that I had from working in retail, working in certification body with a lots of manufacturers, working as a trainer, and also now in the supply chain. So overall knowledge and understanding of the supply chain I want to share with you, but specifically focusing on the transport hygiene, and also talking about the verification and validation of the cleaning programs. First of all, I would like to talk a little bit with you about how do you understand the supply chain of food. And I will show you just really one simple supply chain of food. This is how we consider the supply chain. Mainly, let me just try to take some color so that I can write on the board. So mainly how we understand this supply chain is that we have some kind of factory that produces products, then it is loaded in some transport units, and these transporting units are transporting these products to the maybe retailer's warehouse, which is a central warehouse. And from here, maybe a lot of smaller transporting units are transporting products to the retail stores. And this is how we consider the the supply chain, and how we understand the supply chain. But in this supply chain, what we consider as a safety issue is actually only temperature and hygiene. And I know that this is true because when MFIT and the team participated in Dubai Food Safety Conference in last year in 2024, we put a questionnaire to all of these big number of participants on this conference, and we asked them, what do you think that is a biggest risk concern for safety of the food in transport? And everyone said it is a temperature that is the biggest risk, and then few places after it is hygiene. So this is how we understand the supply chain, and this is how we understand the risks in the supply chain. But reality is a little bit different. It's different because supply chains are complex, and what we understand here is only this, as you see, only this third supply chain. What we talked on a previous slide is only this third supply chain. But reality is quite different, because we have a start that starts with the raw materials production, which is transported to a primary producer. And then from the primary producer, it could be a mill that is producing flour. It is transported with the silo transport to the secondary production. This secondary production could be a confectionery or a bakery producer that produces final product, and then as a final product, it is transported to the retail store. In between of all of these activities of transporting, producing, or selling it, there is a cleaning of the transport, and there is a cleaning station. So you see now the supply chain becomes a little bit more complex. Looking at the supply chain, it doesn't go only inside of the country. Yeah, the supply chain can be even more complex. Look at this complex supply chain for the chocolate example. There is sunflower oil that could be produced in Serbia, glucose syrup produced in Germany, milk powder produced in Poland, and cocoa mass produced in Switzerland. Then we have activities of loading in the different transporting units, and all of them transports all of these transport materials or raw materials to the chocolate production that is located in Italy. What is going on there in Italy? It happens actually that after it is unloaded, all the transporting units are going to the cleaning station, probably to the cleaning station in Italy because of the logistic chain and because it is more relevant to go there to not, of course, lose the kilometers or not to lose the money. After the cleaning station and after the cleaning, what will happen is that all of these transporting units will go probably to the different factories in Italy to load another products. Yeah. So you see now this supply chain becomes a little bit more interesting. Yeah. So let's just follow one supply chain. For example, one transporting unit from the previous example, and this could be a transporting unit transporting sunflower oil from Serbia to Italy factory. Then it unloads this sunflower oil. Then it's empty, but it's dirty from the product, of course, and it goes to the cleaning in the Italy in the cleaning station. After the cleaning, the clean transporting unit is going to the loading again in Italy factory, and here it can load a milk cream, for example. I use this example just to show you that now when this transporting unit is clean and loaded milk cream, practically it loaded also some kind of hazard, which means that it loaded, in this case, allergen. Yeah. So now we have an allergen in the supply chain. After that, this transporting unit is going to Austria, maybe in ice cream production. They unload this product, and then we have an empty and dirty transporting unit. And this is transporting unit that is now dirty with the milk cream, which means that it is dirty from the allergen. If any insufficient cleaning happens here in the cleaning station in the Austria, this means that even though this transporting unit is clean here, it has some remains of the allergen presence, and then any additional loading will contain this allergen, and probably or potentially it could also contain the next load. So this means that when this barley malt is loaded, it could contain allergen within. Of course, what is the problem here everywhere, what I'm talking about? The problem is in case that there is insufficient cleaning that is not good, then there is a problem of the control of the loading, and then there is a problem of the control on the unloading in a factories where nobody is controlling actually this allergen risk. Yeah, it is not considered. Of course, in many cases, companies will define what is the allowed previous load. Yeah, and then companies will say, we do not allow this type of load before we are loading barley malt because we don't want to have any potential contamination of our product. Yeah, so this is how this supply chain becomes very complex. Looking at the other example of the internal supply chain, for example, I will show you in many cases how dairies are functioning. Yeah. So let's look at the example of the dairy one. We have a transporting unit that is collecting milk on one transporting line on this side. Yeah. And after it collects the milk from different farms, going in the morning, collecting milk, it returns back to the dairy, and raw milk is unloaded to this dairy, after which cleaning happens of the transporting unit, probably with the CIP of this dairy factory. And after the cleaning is done, what is going on? In many cases, I tell you, all over the world, it happens that this transporting unit is not the transporter of the dairy. Yeah, it's not a owned transporting unit of the dairy. It's probably some tank that is owned by the private owner, private company, and after it is cleaned in this first dairy, it goes and parks on the parking of the company, or in many cases, it parks in front of the house of the driver, who in some cases could be also the owner of the transporting unit. Yeah. So please pay attention that this could have some influences on risks happening in the supply chain. In the morning, this transporting unit that we now consider is clean is going and collecting milk on a totally different production line of raw milk or collection line, and then delivers to the totally different dairy, where it is unloaded and cleaned with this dairy 2 CIP. So what is now the problem in this small supply chain? The problem is that transporting unit is cleaned on 2 different places. It can be cleaned by completely 2 different procedures, but one dairy and another dairy have to trust in the document that is delivered from one to another dairy, that the cleaning was sufficient, and they have to trust that their raw milk is transported in a safe conditions. So looking at the whole supply chain, there are a lots of risks happening there, yeah? So when we look at the loading process risks, there are control of transport hygiene that could be at risk, that insufficient controls of transport hygiene. Then we talk about the control of food defense and food fraud aspects, like using of the seals and documented evidences. Then control of transport suitability. Is your transport suitable to transport the food? Then control of cleaning evidences, then evidences of previous loads, and of course the traceability. So these are just the problems at the loading for the primary producer or any kind of producer who is doing the loading of the product. Then there are risks that are connected with the transport units. And these risks are connected with the food suitability of transport materials, transport unit design, maintenance records, control of transport suitability, control of cleaning evidence, food defense and food suitability that is just connected with transport or transporting company. Of course, there are risks connected with unloading process. This could be also connected with insufficient preloading or pre-unloading controls. Again, controls of food defense, food fraud, controls of cleaning evidences that gives you evidence of the previous loading and also that the cleaning was done in a sufficient way. Of course, controls of product, because we always do some specific controls of the product before unloading. And again, we come to the question of the traceability. And of course, in the whole supply chain, we always mention this cleaning station. You have seen it. Well, let's not forget this cleaning station, because cleaning process risk also exists connected with the proper information of the previous loads, with the proper information, what are the cleaning procedures and application of the cleaning procedures, cleaning station equipment, cleaning station employee training, traceability of the service in this case, and of course, cleaning evidence, and of course, the information. These are the risks, but what are the contaminants in food transport? I will say that the biggest contaminants are physical contaminants. You don't see it on this slide, but I'm always mentioning them. And these physical contaminants are actually coming from the transporting units. It could come because of the bad design of the transporting units, but it could also come because the transporting units are old, they're always moving, there are some damages happening, there are different types of products transported, different types of cleaning happening, and of course there are lots of parts that are also made out from rubber, like some gaskets, closings, sealings, etc. And these could be all also physical hazards. And in many cases, in order to prevent your facility, you need to have different kinds of sieves, filters, controls on loading to see for potential physical hazards. Of course, other contaminants and hazards can come from the point of view of biological hazards, which could be, of course, pathogen microorganisms, but also yeasts and molds and some of the indicator organisms coming from the cleaning station due to insufficient cleaning procedures or due to cross-contamination or any problems with the previous information of the transported product. Of course, chemical and radiological hazards can come from the transporting unit, from the previous loads, but also from the cleaning station, talking about the use of cleaning agents and insufficient washout, for example, etc. One of the hazards there are allergens. I already showed you some of the examples in the supply chain. And there could be some of the contaminants that are not specifically hazards, but are connected with halal and kosher requirements, because some of the products can be transported in a halal or kosher conditions. So don't forget the hazards here. When you do your hazard analysis as a part of HCCP, also contains biological, physical, chemical, radiological, allergens, and also product characteristics as hazards. I have shown you on the previous slide where are these risks. Yeah. So this is a supply chain. These are the risks in the supply chain. And we have shown you these cleaning stations, yeah, that are doing the cleaning process. But who have defined this cleaning process or the cleaning program, yeah? Who is giving the requirements actually? Only requirements are moved from the primary or secondary production and given to the transporters or the logistic companies. The other requirements are given in the legislation or given in the standards. But how it is given? It is given to those who are defined as FBOs or food business operators. So if you look at all the legal documents, and if you look at all the requirements of the producers, and if you look at all the standards, food business operators are those who are handling the product. So no matter if they are producing it or transporting it or storing it, you are handling the product. This means that you are a food business operator. But in cases of cleaning stations, which are not handling the product, but they are handling the service in connection with this product, they are not registered as food business operators. And this brings the problem for the supply chain. Because in that case, you have to define for cleaning station what they will do, and you have to have a knowledge to define the requirements for them. What happens at the end? It happens that the different cleaning stations, like for this example we mentioned in Italy, in Austria, in Serbia, are working according to the different cleaning standards. And we always have a joke to say that 650 cleaning stations only in Europe means 650 cleaning standards. And this needed to be solved to unified cleaning procedures and unified standards. This is why EMFIT, International Association for the Supply Chain Safety, sit down with the working groups and said, okay, now we need to define the cleaning programs based on the previous load, on the last load, no matter if it's a liquid, powder, and granulates products, and also to define a specific cleaning procedures for kosher and halal. And this is what EMFIT have been doing in the previous years and what EMFIT have defined. What this means in reality, it means that these cleaning programs are based on the last load, and there is a transport, for example, of chocolate, transport of oil, transport of juices, these are all liquid products, but with different viscosities. And based on that, there are specific programs to be applied in order to clean these transporting units. I will go shortly to these programs showing you how they work, but I will not talk a lot about them because today our focus will be on validation, verification, monitoring of the cleaning programs, no matter which kind of cleaning programs are used. When you look at EMFIT cleaning programs, the idea is to have a standardized cleaning programs in the whole world. So this means actually that if you are using MFIT P300 program for cleaning of the chocolate or cleaning of the this type of viscosity products, it could be low, medium, or high cleaning. And this is based on actually what steps this product will pass in your factory when it is received. So if there is some kind of step, as the Tetra Pak say, it's a kill step in your factory, then you can use the standard of low cleaning. You don't need specific long cleaning, etc. But if there is no kill step, this product needs to be transported in very high safety conditions. Then you need a high cleaning, which lasts a lot longer and gives you, of course, support that the product is transported in a safe transport. Yeah. So MFIT cleaning programs, you can find it, of course, on the website. I will just mention it that there are, as I said, low, medium, high. It is based on the timing of the cleaning, but the procedures are same in all of these programs, which means that cleaning must be performed completely of everything that is on transporting unit. This means the hoses, the connections, the pumps, the manholes, the main tanks, the chambers, everything that is there on the transporting unit, it needs to be clean, no matter is it a light, medium, or high cleaning. So looking now how these steps are looking, we have a manual preparation and cleaning, which is practically same in all of these procedures, looking at the timing, but light, medium, and high has a quite differences when we look at this main wash, pre-wash, rinsing, and drying timing, and you will see how this changes, of course. Looking here at this timing for the low, medium, and high. So this is just example for the medium, and then we have example for the high cleaning. So you see now how this timing changed from 68 to 85 minutes, and this timing is sufficient, of course, to clean it and have the transport that is practically safe for from the previous load, of course, but also safe for loading of your product, and that it can be guaranteed. So no matter if this cleaning procedure is defined or it is selected, what we shall do now. So let's say, for example, you are a company who has a transporter and you are not directly responsible for selecting the cleaning station. In that case, transporter is selecting the cleaning station by himself, which means that before loading a product at your site, he needs to go for a cleaning. And this cleaning is done according to some procedures. The question is here, who defined these procedures? Is your company defining these procedures? Based on what? Is the transporter defining these procedures? And do you trust in his defined procedures? Or everyone in the chain trusts in the procedures of the cleaning station? You know, in previous year, MFIT has done transport hygiene risk analysis in more than 50 companies, and we gathered results that, of course, supply chain has many risks that I'm presenting to you today here. But also, we have gathered the information that these procedures are not defined very well, and even if they are defined, they are not respected after a certain amount of time. So one of the main things that you have to do, no matter who defined the procedures of cleaning, one of the things that you have to do, if you're certified according to the standards for the food safety, for example, GFSI certification schemes like FSSC, like IFS, like BRC, they are asking from you to do the validation of the cleaning. So in last year, we have done the validation of the transporting units for different cleaning programs of MFIT, MFIT P200, P300, and I will give you some overview of the validation steps and our conclusions, and I hope I will help you in also defining your own validation procedures for the cleaning of the transport. Of course, Now you have a connection, and you have always had a connection with me. You can contact me also on LinkedIn and connect with me. And if you want more to discuss about this validation and how you can do it, I'm completely open to do it together with you. Also, pay attention that this is not that we are doing it for 200th time in our lives. Yeah, this cleaning validation is done now for the 3rd time, and one of the biggest cleaning validation of the transport. Why is that? Because you will see it is not so easy to perform the validation of the transporting units, especially if these are transporting units that you are not owner of it, or not the transporting units of your own company. You will see why. Starting from the beginning, when we talked about the validation and what is the objective of the same, we said, okay, let's go to the EHEG publication, cleaning validation in the food industry, yeah, because this document is very good. This group of authors are very good specialists in it, and of course, the objective of the validation said that the primary objective is the cleaning validation to demonstrate that equipment is consistently clean to an acceptable level, effectively removing product residues, microbial contaminants, chemicals, soiling, and allergens. So this ensures the prevention of cross-contamination hazards between products. So in that case, with MFIT working group, when we did the validation of transport unit cleaning, we shared this objective, aiming to confirm that all equipment and all detachable components used for transportation, loading, and unloading meet these standards. So additionally, we seek to validate MFIT cleaning programs, which include defined parameters such as cleaning times, temperature, steps, and of course, specific procedures. Once again, I want to just go through it with you. What is the validation, monitoring, and verification? I know that you know, but this is just in the context of the transport. So validation is done before, and it means that it is performed after the cleaning program is established and proves that the cleaning program is effective and can be used. It must be performed according to predefined procedures, and it must be recorded. In case when cleaning program is not set up in a good way, re-editing of the process and revalidation should be performed before first approval of use. So you shouldn't use the cleaning program if it's not validated and if it's not, of course, effective and showing that it works. Validation can be done in different ways, through the auditing, testing, controls, through the internal team use, through the laboratory services, external team engagement, etc. When you have done the validation, when you have set and said that your cleaning program is effective, we need to do the monitoring then. What this means? This means that every day we are cleaning our transporting unit according to the defined program. In the dairies, every day we are using this CIP program that is now defined and validated. But we need to set up some kind of monitoring. And this is done only for the validated cleaning programs. It is performed after each cleaning in the cleaning station, but it can be also done as a monitoring that is done on the steps of loading or unloading of the transport. It can be done, of course, with the different methodologies like ATPs, like swabs, allergen swabs, turbidity tests, pH testing, conductivities, etc. Monitoring is done every time after cleaning process is done, on every loading, unloading of transport, and of course, it needs to be properly recorded. And then we come to the point of verification, which is done after. Verification is done in defined time intervals, which could be done on monthly, quarterly, half year or year based. It is done according to previously established procedures and can be done as part of PRP's verification, can be done as part of the internal audits, and can be done also as part of external audits. External third or second party can be used for the verification. The idea of the verification should confirm that the established cleaning program and monitoring of the cleaning program are still effective. So what this means in looking at through the timing, it means that maybe at one time I will define the cleaning program, I will validate it. And this validation will be like that. Yeah, this document and record and report of the validation will be okay for next 3 years if I don't have any changes. Every day I'm doing monitoring, but every year I'm doing the verification of this program just to confirm by external laboratory or audits or whatever that this still works. Yeah. If something changes in the system, I change cleaning station, change the steps in cleaning program, change the cleaning agent, change transporting unit. Yeah. I need to revalidate my cleaning programs. Now, when this is clear, let's go to the process of validation. The first thing is to set up the validation protocol, and it looks similar like we would do in steps of hazard analysis, where the first thing is to set up the team, validation team. So who will perform the validation? It could be an external team, it could be an internal team. It is important that there is a specific knowledge. In MFIT, we have a lot of members, and these members have made a really nice group of really nice group of experts, and these experts are coming from the cleaning industry, meaning the cleaning agent producers, from the equipment producers, equipment of the transporting units, also the cleaning stations, from the universities, etc. And this was the team for the validation. Then you need to define the validation scope. It is maybe only just for one cleaning program or several cleaning programs, etc. How often this validation should be? I say it should be done on every 3 years for the defined cleaning programs, but in case of any change, it should be revalidated immediately. Yeah. Again, what are the relevant contaminants that you are focusing on? Maybe it's just allergens to confirm your cleaning program, but mainly it will be also microbiology and potentially control of the physical hazards. Then you need to set up a worst case scenario, which is not so easy when we talk about the transport, but I will show you some of the examples. Then we need to decide about the validation methodology and, of course, regulations and standards that we are going to follow. Before we do all of that, yeah, maybe we decide about the validation, we need to do the preparation step, yeah. This preparation step means that you need to set up the conditions of the cleaning station. And in this setup of the conditions means that you need to have adequate temperature, adequate pressure, adequate use of cleaning agents, water quality, cleaning equipment that is maintained and working, and of course, staff training. So before we have done our validation, we needed to confirm that the cleaning station is working, everything as it should be. In this case, this was MFIT High QF certified cleaning station, and this is actually the thing. This is the first thing, yeah. For example, the temperature and pressure of the water must be monitored and controlled both prior to the commencement of validation and through the cleaning process. The cleaning agents used must be approved for food industry application. The water used in the cleaning process must be tested at least annually. So for all of this, we needed the documents, we needed the confirmations, we needed to perform the measurement. And then we said, okay, cleaning station is ready. It can work. It can fulfill our cleaning programs, and the staff for cleaning is trained to do the proper cleaning. Okay. But then there is another thing, is to set up also the conditions for transport, for the transporting of the product, which means transporting unit. Yeah. So in order to validate the programs, we said, okay, we have our transporting unit. Our transporting unit is the road tanker. Yeah. And we checked the complete road tanker. to confirm that there are no damages, that the design inside is done in a good way, that all the gasket seals are working, all the valves are working. We have done all the necessary measurement, and then we said, okay, now we have a transport unit that is in a proper condition that can be used. Yeah. Okay, so we set up the transporting unit, and we set up also the cleaning station in this case. Then we had to decide which type of sampling and testing we will do, which means validation methodology. In this case, we said, okay, we will take also visual and sensory evaluation, use of borescope tool for detailed inspection. Why we wanted also visual and sensory evaluation? Because in many cases, these are the only evaluations that are done on loading sites. So when the transporting unit is coming to the loading site, only visual and sensory evaluation is done, which means looking and smelling that there is no visual water maybe standing, or that there is no visual dirt, or that there is no smell of the chemicals or the previously transported product. So we said, okay, this must go into our equation for the validation. Only we use a borescope tool, which is a probe tool that can go inside of the hoses, pipelines, and air pipes and everywhere, so that we can inspect it even detailing what is going on inside. The second thing is microbiological testing. In this case, we decided to use the swabbing techniques and cleaning validation with the 3M quick swabs. Again, protein presence testing. We used in this case CleanCard Pro. This is a CleanCard for the test of the presence of proteins. And of course, in the complete validation methodology, it is needed to record and compare of the results. We use the safety culture tool where we build our own checklist for this validation. So how these validation steps go? The transporting unit is coming to the site. It is doing the check-in. It goes to the it goes also it goes also for the cleaning. In this cleaning, what is done here is actually the complete process of the MFIT approved program. In this case, it could be also your kind of program that you decided, maybe in your factory, etc. And then it goes with the sampling of the, of course, swabs, of course, from the CleanCards and etc. Yeah. So at the end, it comes with a borescope inspection and, of course, odor inspection. And at the end, it comes to the control of the cleaning evidence. Okay. I mentioned to you that you need to decide about the worst case scenario in this case. Yeah. Worst case scenario is in many cases when you do the validation inside of your factory, a little bit easy to do it, because then you can use some kind of, let's say, test bacteria or indicator organisms and put it in the tested product that is passing, for example, the pasteurization. Then you know that there is contaminated product, and after that you test it. After pasteurization, you test it in the laboratory, and you see actually that it is destroyed in this pasteurization, and this is how you validate the temperature and you validate the time. Yeah. But when we talk about the big transporting units who could be like 25,000 liters, it comes to the point of question what this means, worst case scenario. Yeah, it's not so easy to contaminate the transporting units of 25,000 liters of the product. Of course, it comes also to the question of price and everything. But in this case, we use the worst case scenario was the maximum allowable time. So this is between cleaning and subsequent product loading. So decision was to simulate this, because in many cases, what would happen? It would happen the transporting unit is doing the unloading of the product on Friday. It goes for a cleaning, and then it stands on the parking lot for the 2 days. And then again on Monday, it goes for the loading of the product. Yeah. So this is there was in industry some allowable time of 72 hours, and we wanted to test that, but we tested in intervals of 24, 48, 72, and 96 hours after the cleaning. And we even had one specific case that was standing on the parking for 8 days, which we also tested in our procedures. So what could be other worst case scenarios? We have discussed about that. Probably it could be the transport of raw milk, and then to take a sample of milk, take a sample of swab after unloading, and then see what is the level of microorganisms, do the cleaning, and then again take the sample of washout water and also the sample of swab. And this is how you confirm in your validation. The other thing could be also that you transported product like the yeast for the industrial yeast, and then of course you know that there are these yeast microorganisms in the transported unit, and after cleaning you take the samples and you confirm that there is no yeast present. Yeah, this could be your indicator organism. Of course, some of the experts mentioned recently that there are some kind of also stickers that could be used with the microorganisms, but mainly this is used in the industry, and we still have to test this in the transporting unit that is moving, the transporting unit that is this big, and also to decide where are the places to use it. Of course, sampling places should be the same. We tested minimum five transport units cleaned according to selected cleaning programs, but we always selected 3 swabbing places that could be critical. And on these places, we tested for microbiology, we tested for proteins, and we tested also visually. I see some of you are laughing out regarding the boroscope inspection, but this is not a GMP violation. I'm sorry, Jairo. The GMP violation would be if this is not under control, but this is controlled conditions, and the boroscope inspection procedure is defined as a controllable conditions. In case that something happens, and that boroscope tool is damaged during the process, then the complete cleaning of the transporting unit is done. I mention once again that this is not done in situations when the product is transported and there is no product on the site. This is done on the site of the, of course, cleaning station. Yeah. So just to confirm that, that this was the idea, and this was the only way to inspect what is going on inside and to collect the proper data of the validation. So regarding these validation results that we gathered, for your case, you will have to gather your validation results and to understand what is going on in your system. We got information regarding microbiological tests where we confirmed that cleaning with high programs, which means much more time of the cleaning, is definitely destroying the microbiological potential contaminants, and especially we confirmed the effectiveness of the longest cleaning times, which is the timing more than 67 minutes. Of course, there was also confirmed lower times for cleaning, which means that these low viscosity products that are transported can be also cleaned sufficiently without any microbiological contaminants, but this is also something for you to confirm. For us, it was important that we confirm that the timing higher of 67 minutes is sufficient. We also compared the results of the protein swab and microbiological swabs. Regarding the protein swab results, we also confirmed that the higher cleaning programs, especially those which are higher than 55 minutes, are destroying proteins, and any kind of protein remains. Why this was relevant? It was relevant because in many cases what you are doing, you are transporting product that is microbiologically okay, which means that your transport is not contaminated, yeah? and there are no microbial, that could be affecting your next product. But in many cases, you're transporting products that are proteins, and also these proteins could be allergens. So this means if the cleaning was not performed correctly, there are remains of the proteins, potentially remains of the allergens, and in that case, you could contaminate the next product that is loaded. That's why we needed to confirm that our cleaning programs are also efficient against microbiological contaminants, but also against the proteins. Looking at the borescope inspections, in this case, we confirmed with the borescope that almost in all of the transporting units, there was something wrong in the design. Of course, except the transport unit that we decided to use, that was priorly inspected. All other transporting units coming on the site, and we tested more than 15 transporting units and included something around 140 swabs, and also protein swabs and also swabs microbiological to test this. Almost all other transporting units that were inspected with the borescope showed some kind of problems in design, in damages, and etc. And of course, regarding the odor inspection, everything was confirmed okay. So this also showed that your controls could be good, with visual and also smell. But on the other hand, there are some things that you just cannot sense, that you cannot see, that you cannot smell, and that's why it is recommended that you have some kind of tests on your loading or after cleaning that includes some protein swabs or fast relative luminescence unit swabs, or even microbiological swabs. It depends from your resources. For near end, validation limitations. It is not so easy. I mentioned several times to perform the validation of the cleaning of transport units. Why? Because it is not the same like you would do the validation of the tank inside of your facility. Tanks in the facility are not moving. Almost always they are filled with the same product with the same viscosity. There is a regular maintenance which is under your control. There is a preventive maintenance. You have controlled air that is going inside the tanks. Always same cleaning procedure you use with your own CIP programs that are also under control, constant of your internal laboratory. Almost always same operators for cleaning that are trained, and there are internally monitored procedures. Looking at the transport tank or silo, it is constantly moving, which means that everything moves inside of the transporting unit, but also this equipment is constantly moving. Potential changes of the product and viscosity, sometimes no regular maintenance and no preventive, sometimes no controlled air lines or filters, different cleaning procedures depending on the previous load, also different cleaning stations, level of trained operators, and different monitoring procedures in the cleaning station, loading, unloading sites, and customer requirements. So you see, it's not the same to do the validation of the facility tank and the transport tank silo. This is something that needs to be also thought about. It becomes a little bit difficult when you need to do the validation of transport tank, and if this is done by your transporting company that you engage or by the cleaning station, it could become a little bit expensive to do that, but you just need to do that. Regarding monitoring procedures, I just left it here. These are the recommendations, meaning that you need to do the monitoring procedures on the cleaning station, which is after the cleaning. There are also monitoring procedures on the loading site or unloading site that have to be done on every loading and every unloading. And if some cases happen that there is a problem of a failure on the loading site, then what should be done is also to completely perform the new cleaning. according to the programs. Yeah. And also regarding unloading site, then the unloading should be prevented. The product should be stopped. But these are actually something to really to think about. Yeah. Regarding verification procedures, of course, it could be the cleaning station, loading, unloading site, and the certification. As I said, the verification procedures inside the cleaning station, it could be done minimally once per year and include control of the cleaning records, traceability minimum of 3 months, or checking of training and application of cleaning procedures, etc. And there are some recommendations about the final analytical testing listed here by our MFIT working group. Of course, it's up to you how you're going to do that. We are saying here about some microbiological testing, about swab testing that can be done. Regarding the loading, unloading site verification procedures needs to be done, especially as part of your verification of the prerequisites programs, which means that on your loading of the transporting units, you need to control the cleaning, of course, efficiency, and that the hygiene maintenance is done in a good way. And this would mean that you can do it through the laboratory sampling and testing with external accredited laboratory, or you can do it together with the review of transport hygiene risk as part of HCCP, TACCP, and VACCP. Yeah. Regarding the certification, cleaning station certification is part of the verification procedures done by third-party trained auditors, and certification done on each 2 years. So this is something actually that could be also as part of the verification procedures for the cleaning stations. And again, there is a food suitability inspection for the transporting units done with MFIT approved also inspectors. And this is how you can do the verification, of course, of the transport unit, of the cleaning station, and of course of your loading and unloading procedures. Yeah. Some of you are mentioning about the slides. Of course, you're going to get the presentation. Then you can zoom in into this. I didn't want to go into so many details about the results of validation as much as I wanted to show you how you can do it, what could be the steps. Of course, it's hard to understand some of these results because it's too small and these graphs are too big, and when you receive it you can zoom in and then see much more of these results. So coming to an end, I will just announce it, and Simon will join it with me. Next week we are doing the training for the practical food defense and food fraud training. It's on 25th of February on Tuesday. You can register, and we are going to have 4-hour online training webinar. We're going to talk about the food defense and food fraud, how to build your system, how to do TACCP, how to do VACCP, and of course, what are the requirements of the certification schemes from the GFSI and how you can fulfill that. And we're going to show a lot of materials, how you can implement it in your company. Of course, this is food defense and food fraud training for those who are beginners in the system, who wants to find out more, and of course those who wants to review their own systems and discuss. So if you want to register, you can go now to the offers, and in the offers you will have to click the button find out more, and over there you will find a lot of new information. Yeah. So this is it for today. We still have some time. We can prolong it a little bit, and let's see, are there any questions in the chat box?
Yeah. Thanks very much for that, Vlad. Yes, there are some questions. Let's pick through them. Question from Sanjeewa: how to get traceability reduced to cleaning risk? Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. It's a good question, because We are always talking about the traceability of the product, which means of ingredients and also packaging material that goes into our final product. But we are talking about the traceability of the service and the action that is done regarding the cleaning, which means that the cleaning station who is performing the cleaning of the transporting unit has to have a good recording system. In MFIT, we have also this digital way of recording, but the cleaning station should have a really good recording digital system that records the cleaning from the time of starting till end, not the time when the transport unit checks in, because this is not the start of cleaning. It's only check-in, they park on the parking and wait for the cleaning. So they should record the time of the start of cleaning and end of the cleaning. And also this time should be complied with the cleaning program that is agreed. In that case, you can always follow then in case that the cleaning was not good and you conclude this on your loading that the hygiene is bad. You can come back to the cleaning station, look at the records and find out on that day when was the cleaning done, who performed the cleaning, how long this cleaning lasts, etc. And this would mean also in high QF certification, we always test this traceability in order that we have a understanding what is going on. Yeah, maybe on that day some compressor didn't work or heater for water didn't work and something happens, so that at one point maybe 5 or 10 transporting units were not cleaned properly. Yeah, so the cleaning station should know if one transport unit returns to review the records and potentially have in mind that there are additional transport units that could be that they are not washed properly. Yeah, to call them, return them for additional washing. So this is the traceability that you would look for.
Okay, thanks, Vlad. Question from Francois. What is your input about the level of maturity of transport companies and cleaning stations to monitor HACCP and food defence of their air loop of the bulk tanks? I have the feeling that the cleaning and the sealing of air loop are not enough taken into account.
Yes, Francois, it's not taken account 100%. It's not a feeling. It's something that we also have discovered in last year. With these more than 50 companies we have done for the companies who are producers, and with that for their transporters and also cleaning stations. And I will tell you that the HCCP hazard analysis of the transport is done in not very good way, because everyone considers the transport as only one step in the HCCP, TACCP, VACCP, and this is not one step. This is cleaning, this is transporting, this is loading, unloading, etc. And coming to the sealing, this is also interesting. Someone asked me to make the statistics, which looks much better, yeah, when you show some kind of statistic. But the statistic was when we tested 100 vehicles for the sealing, that 100 vehicles failed on this sealing. Or sometimes seals were not set in the right way, or if they are set on a not proper way. There are no sealing plans, etc. So completely understand your concerns, and you have a good feeling.
Okay. Question from Gail. Are there any legal norms, rules for kosher and halal cleaning? Also, same question for last cargoes acceptable before to carry load of a cargo that must follow kosher and halal rules as such, and for halal found only Malaysia standards.
Yeah, the question here is these standards are focused more on the production, on food production, but this is focused on proper halal cleaning procedures and kosher cleaning procedures. So, Gael, if you would go to the site of MFIT, mfit.eu, you will find over there the cleaning programs. This cleaning program, for example, for kosher are approved by Kosher Rabbinate, and for our halal are approved by halal organizations. And agreed with them for these specific programs. So you can find it there. You can find also how these programs works. And if you contact me, I can send you a complete guideline developed by MFIT about that.
Very good. Question from Atil. If neither of the transport tank is EHEDG or 3A approved, how can we validate cleaning where there are many risks in terms of that word, gaskets, etc., yes, where there might still be blind points? And also, if the tanker is only carrying vegetable oil, how will the cleaning be done in between? Will there be a frequency needed if the same type of vegetable oil is used?
Yes, so Atil, this is also the biggest finding of the validation we had, is that many transporting units are not in suitable conditions. How this happens actually? It happens actually because when the transport unit is produced, tanker or silo or whatever, when it is produced, it is approved, done according to some rules, and then it is given in the use. But after 2 years, 5 years, 10 years even, and we had some tankers from even 20 years, there is no continual suitability check of these transporting units. And I talk about continual suitability check of the food safety suitability. Yeah. So what we have done, there is a DIN norm 10502, which asks that on every 2 years, these transporting units are inspected and approved. So now the idea is to have on every 2 years, the approval of the transporting units. If something needs to be fixed, it needs to be fixed. Yeah. And that every transporting unit is having a document or the certificate of continual suitability that confirms that it is suitable. Then you have a transport unit that is okay. And if you use your own cleaning program, no matter what you transport, if the frequency is also oil or whatever. If you're asking about the frequency of cleaning because you're transporting only oil, if you say I clean on every 3 days, 5 days, 7 days because only two points of the transport and only oil is transported, you should also validate this timing of 3 days, 5 days, 7 days cleaning. Is it sufficient? And you should have some document of the validation confirming that this is sufficient.
Okay, that Atil's just confirming that word I couldn't read. It was welding. It was just spelled.
Yeah, welding. Okay.
Okay. Alisa, do you know of an online site that identifies transport vehicle cleaning stations per state in the US? Are bulk transport cleaning stations equipped to also clean transport trailers for palletized products?
Well, I'm not sure about the complete market of US. We have here sites, also sites that are showing all the registered cleaning stations in EU. I think there should be also cleaning stations in the US that are registered. I know I spoke with people, but I don't know exactly about the specific site. In many cases, transport cleaning stations could have one additional lane for the cleaning of the transport trailers for palletized or the refrigerated transports. It's not always the case, but it could be a situation for that. Yeah, you just need to find it. This automatized cleaning, you can find a site that is called Katma Clean. Katma. And if you go there, you will see some new type of cleaning that is done for this palletized transport.
Okay. Let's go back. Question from Robin. Is there any chance that the validation procedure gives wrong results of a cleaning program? If yes, how to sort it out?
Yeah, validation. This would mean then that your validation procedure is not set up in the right way. Yeah, first of all, sit down, think very good how your validation procedure should go, and if it gives some wrong results of cleaning program, okay, then change the cleaning program, do the validation again. It's not something that is so terrible. Yeah, in many cases the industries don't do this validation. This is actually the first time that we are talking about it in a very wide group.
Okay. John, question from John. Can the cleaning history of a vehicle go back to all 3 cleanings or more?
Yes, John. In many cases, the requirement of the industry is to have the information about the previous 3 cleaning and previous 3 transports. But with the new digital solutions, you can have even up to 10 last cleanings and 10 last transports in a one place, connected with a specific transport unit and specific industry.
Super. Question from Mohammed. What about the contamination during the transport of dry matter like grains and flour and for viscous materials like oils?
Yeah, Mohammed, regarding the grains and flour, there is a risk of contamination that we have seen could come also from microbiological contamination. In some cases, when the flour is transported from the mill, this same mill could produce also animal feed and flour for animal feed. In this case, animal feed having different level of microbiological limits, and this level is, let's say, more flexible than the limits for the food of people. And in this case, if this is transported in same transport with no cleaning, it could be a cross-contamination. This is how salmonella can get, for example, into the flour, and there were many cases of salmonella into flour on the market. So this is one case. But additionally, for grains and flour, there are physical hazards coming, especially from the air pipes and air that is compressed and used for cleaning, because sometimes, used for unloading of the product, because sometimes these pipelines for air are missing filters, and they are infueling the dust, the fumes, the oils from the compressor, and it could contaminate your product. Regarding the oils, there comes also problems that we have seen that maybe not such a safety product, such as safety issues as more as quality issues. For example, that someone transports cacao mass, which could be also liquid. Cacao mass moves in the transport unit. It goes also into all pipelines, sometimes also in these air pipes. And it happens if the cleaning was not sufficiently done, that there are some remains, of course, of this previous product in oil. And then you have these particles in oil that are different color, which influence, of course, the specification of the oil. This could be the contamination.
Okay, we're well over, but we'll just do these last 3 questions, and then Gary, our supply chain involves transportation of a packaged temperature-controlled product. Would you suggest the same level of validation, monitoring, and validation?
For you, Gary, the most important thing is to do the validation of the temperature. Temperature regarding the loading and during the whole transport. If you have a supply chain of the transport where there are multiple stoppages and unloading of your product, then you should validate that the temperature is constant during the whole supply chain. There are different kind of things that how you can do it, is data loggers or whatever. But regarding the hygiene, this is not high risk level of the products because they are already packed, etc. But the hygiene needs to be on a certain level. So if you define with your cleaning station or inside your factory cleaning station that there should be some level, you should validate it and confirm it first time, and then say every time it needs to be on this level. Regarding the monitoring, what you should do is this visual monitoring and confirmation. I don't know is it needed really to take, like the swabs in this case, because it's not so risky product.
Okay. Melody, what about grains during harvest in reference to allergens and non-allergens? Can this be an issue? Do we rely on the farmers?
Melody, thank you very much for this question, but we are still not on the level to go there to the farmers. Yeah, I think we need to solve first this part and then move to the farmers. Definitely, when we talk about this, there are situations that are just uncontrollable regarding farmers. I will tell you even a worse scenario, which means that the farmers are transporting, for example, animal manure, manure for the fertilization of the land in the transport, trailer. And then what happens is that they don't clean it; it just dries out. They clean it with just dusting, and after that they do the harvest of wheat, for example. Yeah. And this is direct contamination with microorganisms. So this is really, really big project, and this is something that we could expect in future, but I wouldn't say it's a near future.
Okay, thank you. And the last one from Nahal. Do we need to do the validation even if we use CIP clean in place?
Of course that you have to do that. When you set up your CIP program, no matter who set up the program, is it you or the producer of equipment or the supplier of cleaning agents set it up with you, the moment you set it up, do the validation and you say, okay, this program number 1, program number 5 are the validated programs, and this is what we use from now on. So every time you have a CIP, please, you need to validate it, the standards that you have also asked from you to have this validated.
Brilliant. Okay, amazing. Great presentation. Lots of awesome content and also questions answered. So thanks very much, Vlad. Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a nice weekend, rest up, and we'll see you on Tuesday for the training course.
Yes, thank you all very much. Have a nice weekend, rest, and good luck with your validation of transport.
Okay, and if you have any questions, Vladimir will be happy to answer them by email. We'll be following up with an email to all of the registrants with the certificate, the copy of the slides, and also the recording of this so you can watch it back, but also we'll include a link to next week's training course if you want to join us next Tuesday. Even if you can't join next Tuesday, you can still sign up and get the recording. If you can't join live, you still will have access to the recording for 30 days. So it's very flexible. Okay. See you on next week. Thanks very much, Vlad. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.